Hello and welcome to the brand new D and Z show. My name is Dan.
My name is Zarek. Here,
All right, y'all, you ready?
I'm declogged.
All right. Okay. So anyway, as he said, this is Zarek. Zarek is, he's pretty cool. He's 19 years old. He wants to major in film or video and audio production, which is partly why we're doing this podcast. But we also enjoy it and we would like to be successful. So please like, follow, subscribe, all of those wonderful things.
Please give us attention. Please.
Exactly. We're attention starved. Our moms locked us in the basement when we were kids.
My mom actually doesn't love me, so
Yeah. So
that's a big lie.
We go out trying to find it elsewhere.
That's a big lie. My mom's gonna be like the only one watching this.
Probably.
So
Yeah,
Kelly,
it's true. And if my mom ever figured out how to listen to a podcast, she probably would be the second one. Anyway, so Zarek, he is big into music, and he loves film and video. So in a little bit, he'll be talking about the Grammys and the award show nominations. But that is for a little bit later. Let me see. Food-wise, I was informed recently that his favorite type of food is subs. And I think his favorite place to get subs is Jersey Mike's. I know his older brother's favorite place, but
that is a big false. It's
so inform us, please.
It's Which, but they recently shut down. So R.I.P.
So that would no longer be your favorite since they're not around.
I mean,
although
in my heart,
Which the chain I believe is still around, but in this area it just went under. I'm not sure why. It was good. Anyway,
Which R.I.P.
Yes. So Zarek is also a giant goof, and a little baby, and yeah, that's about him in a nutshell.
Okay, let me get this. This is Daniel, and he sucks. On to our first topic.
Well, that was short and sweet.
Well, it always is. Okay, actually, I was about to actually go on. Daniel, he is 62.
Oh, yeah, almost.
He's pretty old. Could go at any second. But yeah, that's just him. He's actually 27, about to be 28. He's a good guy, kind heart. He's more business oriented. He's about that cryptocurrency.
Oh yeah.
He's looking to take
crypto.
over the team crypto.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's single. Hit him up.
Okay. Guess we had to throw that out already.
So yeah. And his favorite food could say he likes chicken, but he also likes Pop-Tarts. So why not put them together?
Yeah, we're already getting this out there too. Everything is hanging out from the beginning. Yes.
Just like when you were born.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so back on topic. Any two foods I like together. Potential challenge opportunity for anybody that wants to challenge me because it's been done on pretty much everything before. So yeah, I have to like the foods. It can't just be something, horribly gross. But if I do like 2 or 3 or whatever different foods, I will like them together.
Yeah, because onion Pop-Tarts would just be crazy.
Something I've already done, yes. And not that. Anyway, yes, so
he's the D and I'm the Z.
We did that in the beginning, but yes.
Oh, did we?
Well, it said welcome to the D&Z show. I'm Dan. This is Eric.
Oh.
So, anyway, yeah, that's okay. So speaking of the whole Grammys and the award shows and all that, I believe the Grammys are tonight.
Correct.
I barely know anything about that crap, but
crap.
I did see some article pop up on my phone that said that it's tonight. So I will let you take the lead on this, Zarek, since this is more up your alley.
Okay, so I'm pretty big on music. I tend to listen to it a lot, and I venture out to many different genres of music. You know, so the Grammys, it's a big deal. I like it. I like the Oscars better,
Okay.
but the Grammys are fun to watch. So I do, if you would ever be so kind, pull up the categories since I'm recording on
I
my
just
phone.
thought you had them memorized since you were, you know. Exactly.
Kendrick Lamar,
Um,
Jay-Z.
Okay, so the Grammy.
And my favorite rapper of all time is Kendrick Lamar. So I hope he gets everything he's up for. Daniel
Okay.
likes country music, and I don't even know why we're friends.
Country and Christian, baby. That's where it's all at. That and just random other stuff that gets stuck in my head. Okay, let me see. We're gonna go to the official Grammy.com, and what's coming up?
My boy
All right.
K. Dot.
So the weird thing about the Grammys is they've already had winners. So it airs at 7 tonight.
7. No.
I think.
It has to be 7 straight.
I'm pretty sure it's like 7.
Okay, whatever.
Well, whatever time it airs tonight, they release the smaller category winners beforehand. So yeah. So there's that. This is not helping me at all.
Just go to a different ones.
So
I've tried to listen to like at least like the albums that are up. I've tried to listen to all of them. I've probably listened to Kendrick's album probably over 100 times. Not even kidding.
That's ridiculously stupid.
Probably
Like almost nobody's worth that, especially Kendrick Lamar.
Have you ever listened to his music?
Yeah, a little bit, enough to know I don't like it.
Yeah. So anyway, I've listened to that so much. And then Childish Gambino or Donald Glover.
Apparently, Kendrick Lamar he's up for 7 awards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there we go. Record of the year.
Well, these are like the songs. We're gonna go album of the year.
Okay. By the way, I don't understand the whole record of the year deal. Like album of the year, yeah, that's an album. Record to me kind of means the same thing, but apparently it's a song, and I don't understand.
Yeah, to be honest, me too. Okay, so we have "Awaken My Love" by Childish Gambino. That is his album, and
never heard that before, but I have heard Childish Gambino.
His past 2 albums or projects have been like rap. And then this one is just like almost like 70s rock, like kind of funk.
That is weird. Yeah, I only thought he was a rapper.
No, it's weird. Like, but
so what is he trying to like take a page out of Bruno Mars' playbook or something?
No, it's not. It's like Bruno Mars does that R&B like pop. This is like straight up like 70s like
funk.
Kinda.
Like the car wash song?
No, it's more like darker than that.
Huh.
I don't know, but it's really good. And
something I didn't think would happen, my interest has been picked.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. So just because it's so different, I think that's why it deserves stuff. I don't think it should get album of the year, but it should definitely get like I think the urban one is up for. I don't know, but Jay-Z's album for 44. I have not listened to it because that's exclusive on Tidal. And I ain't trying to pay $15 a month just to listen to his album. I never really cared for him because I'm young and he's kind of old. That's like his time. Back when like T-Rexes were back.
First of all, like, Jay-Z's older than me. And second of all, I'm not a big rap guy, so.
Okay, and then next, "Damn" by Kendrick.
Okay. Like building A, or.
No.
Okay.
Capital.
I figured. Just checking.
Well, it was okay. Well, we're getting this, but what I love because the album's great, but it has a story going from song 1 to song whatever. But you can also listen to it backwards, and it has a different story.
What?
Like, okay, whatever.
Kendrick Lamar's songs backwards.
Like not like if you the track list backwards, like 14.
That's what I was
13
thinking.
Not like listening to reverse.
Right.
It's like Lucifer, and then we have Lord's album drama.
Yes, Jack Antonoff and Lord were the producers, apparently.
Okay, anyway, I don't like Lord. I never have. And I was like, you know what? I'll listen to it. I got 4 songs in. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to listen to it. So, yeah. And
So it's the same old.
Bruno Mars' album, 24K Magic, is great. And it's a nice 90s R&B throwback. And it's fun.
I've heard 24 Karat Magic, the song, but aside from that, I haven't heard anything.
It's really fun and short, but it's a good time, but should not win.
Okay. Yeah, see, I don't ever listen to top 40.
Oh.
So, like, the very few times I venture into a grocery store is basically when I hear these songs.
But I do have to say, I do like the Grammys. But if the Chainsmokers get nominated next year, I'm not going to watch it because the Chainsmokers are garbage.
They are straight garbage. Like, they can't like stop being flat to save their lives. They can't get like in the middle of a pitch.
I'm pretty sure they were nominated.
Which is I
like,
can't
2
either, but
things.
I'm not making millions of dollars to sound
one.
flat.
There's one.
See, that's ridiculous. I could see them like with the Halsey song, you know, the
Yeah, I think one.
but that's what's that called again?
Closer.
Yeah. But aside from that, because it's like Halsey's good and that was like super popular, but aside from that, I don't understand how they're getting nominations for other crap.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. And but we do have another award show coming up, and the nominations are already out.
Yeah, I guess.
The Oscars.
I know.
And
That's
see,
like
this is the
your
part where
favorite
I'm
of
gonna.
favorites.
Oh yeah, this is like the Super Bowl.
No, no. It's the Super Bowl for movie awards, where a bunch of people that already did all their work get together and admire themselves. So it's like the Pro Bowl.
There you have it. The Oscars at the Pro Bowl.
The Super Bowl would be like the biggest movies they put out. The Oscars would be the Pro Bowl.
Okay, well, I happened to see a movie last night actually that is up for it has the most nominations. I think it's like 13 or 11 or something like that. That is The Shape of Water, my friend.
Okay, so full disclosure, never seen a trailer for the movie, and obviously haven't seen the movie either. But earlier, Zarek was kind enough to tell me the storyline of this movie, and it's ridiculous, like beyond ridiculous.
Good.
No, it's a love story between a woman and some kind of Loch Ness monster thing. I was like, ooh, Nessie, you're so hot. I can't believe it. You just make me swoon. I mean,
Actually,
like
no, wait.
a sea creature thing. I mean, come on, people. Like,
woman
they're
in
hitting
the
the bottom of the barrel, like the way bottom of the barrel for like ideas for writing movies.
The woman is
And this chucklehead actually liked it.
Oh, so good. But the woman is actually mute. So she instead of saying, "Oh, Nessie,"
Wait, you didn't even tell me that part.
Yeah, and so instead of, "Oh, Nessie," it was actually.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. It is a love story between a woman and some kind of hybrid Loch Ness monster, but instead of speaking, they just sign.
No, I mean there's talking. There's plenty of talking in the movie.
So you have to read either subtitles or sign language, and watch a woman being like
Intimate.
Well, oh wait, that too. Oh,
No, I thought. I mean,
no, I just thought like she was being
Oh, flirty.
Yeah,
I was trying to look for your word.
No, but no, that'd be even. Oh my gosh. Oh, you did say there's like nude scenes in the movie too.
Yeah.
Which like what is that? Nude shots of the Loch Ness monster?
No,
like
no.
how does that work?
He's always nude.
Well, that's true. Was he have scales?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
All right.
But it's a great movie. I know we kind of got off topic.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, this is one of the nominations. I don't know.
No,
this
I meant
is
like
why our country's going to hell in a handbasket.
no, Like it was set in the 60s, and the production design was amazing. The soundtrack was really cheerful. I loved like every single part of it. And you know who the director is? He
No.
directed Pacific Rim,
Okay.
which is that's crazy to me. You have
That's
this super
true.
artsy fartsy movie,
You got a little diversity there,
and then
but
the
still
movie about
ridiculous.
giant robots killing monsters, which we saw together actually.
Yeah, but that's true, and it was a good movie. But he still, if you look at it a different way, it's just two movies about monsters, different sides. But
Different sides.
monsters are humans too. Apparently, is the message of this. They also have a heart.
Okay. I don't know. The other movies aren't really worth talking about. I think
Really? So the be all end all for you is The Shape of Water.
You go first.
Also, what does that have to do with anything? You have a woman falling in love with the Loch Ness Monster and signing to it, and somehow we're gonna name it The Shape of Water.
No, you're C. I'm gonna make you watch it.
All right.
But it's really good. What? Oh, Boss Baby is up for an Oscar.
Are you serious? And I watched that, and it's like the most mediocre animated movie you could ever watch.
It's a kind of psychotic. I was like the parts I
I
saw.
wouldn't go that far. I mean, I know what you're saying.
Were they on acid?
I think their first mistake was asking Alec Baldwin to do the movie.
Any movie.
Basically.
If you're directing a movie,
But
you get Alec Baldwin.
especially when you're like, that voice is just not right for a little child animated movie. It's like, hello, I'm Alec Baldwin, and I am going to be doing a children's. It's like, no, it really seems like you're, I don't know. I can't do his voice, but his voice sounds like it should be coming from the van offering kids candy.
Not from the kid itself.
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll recap. Shape of Water is good. And Boss Baby is another reason why this country's going to hell in a handbasket.
Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page with that one. So we got to balance out all this artsy fartsy crap with a little bit of sports talk.
Already.
Yes. So there is also something that is coming up and is on a Sunday night, just not this Sunday night. It's next Sunday night. And what would that be, Zarek?
The Puppy Bowl.
True. True.
Puppy Bowl.
But no, not what we're going to be talking about. So can you give that one more try, please?
The Kitty Halftime Show.
All right, well, you officially suck. It is the Super Bowl, everybody. I'm pretty sure y'all were aware of that because I think it's like one of the highest rated televised things of the year every year. So this year, we have the mighty Patriots facing the underdog Eagles. And before I let Zarek speak, I have to preface it with this. He is a giant Patriots and especially Tom Brady hater. Everything he says will be colored with Tom Brady and Patriots hate. I, for one, actually admire what the Patriots have been able to do. They are the definition of a dynasty, and I'm a Bengals fan, so I don't think I need to say more to anybody who knows anything about football. But basically, I have to admire success in others, is what that means. So I do admire their success. But now I will let the hatred spew from Zarek's mouth.
Okay, we're going to go back. It is the Eagles versus the refs and the Patriots. Just had to correct you on that.
No.
Okay, I can also respect how good they are. Last year's Super Bowl marked for me that Tom Brady is the best quarterback.
I'm kind of surprised your head's not exploding right now. But I appreciate
I can admit that.
Appreciate the candid,
at least for now.
the honesty.
He's up there.
No, and that would be the reason why I'd be totally fine seeing the Patriots win, because I like things being cut and dry. And that's why I like numbers, because numbers you can measure things with, you can rank things, you can give a percentage. They just help make everything just kind of black and white. It is what it is. And so if Tom Brady did win his 6th Super Bowl ever, which would then be 2 more than anyone else, he would cement himself as, I think he already has cemented himself as the best of all time, but there would be no room for question whatsoever. Like, the biggest haters in the world couldn't say anything if he did win it. That being said, though, the thing I like more than anything else in sports, as well as pretty much life itself, is a good underdog story. And the Eagles are the definition of a great underdog story.
Wolf, wolf.
So I will actually be rooting for the Eagles in this one.
As will I.
Oh, that's a shocker.
I think the whole quarterback situation is pretty good. I would like, obviously I'm a Steelers fan. I don't know if we said that yet. But I wish Jacksonville would have made it in, just because they came out to play both of the games.
They did come out to play, but I don't think it would be near as intriguing of a Super Bowl, to be honest. Because you have the ultimate David and Goliath story right here. And
then Goliath
I
just
do
crushes
David.
See,
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope either way it's a good game. Well, if there's any crushing, I guess I'd be okay with the Eagles crushing the Patriots, because that would just be
they
the
might
story of
up
all
until
time.
the fourth quarter.
That would be the story of all time. But the thing is, you have the ultimate. Where's the pizzazz in an Eagles-Jaguars matchup?
Can you repeat that one?
The pizzazz.
That's nice.
You heard that right.
I like that one.
I love old school language because, they did it right back then.
Back when Reagan was president.
Best president ever. No, I was not alive for the Reagan presidency.
We need a Reagan man in office.
Yes. Just wait till I turn 35.
I'll bet. Dude, I I know you get obliterated.
Yes.
But I think
whatever is a million times obliterated, if there's a word that has that definition, that would be what it is.
But I would back you 200%. Just watch you fail.
So I would have your vote.
And
no other.
No other. D's nuts.
So you would, wait. I gotta revisit that. You would back me with everything you have to see me fail. That doesn't make sense. It's like the opposite.
You know what? You're right, but
we could fail together.
Oh, vice president?
Yeah. I don't think there's an age limit on that.
No, there has to be.
Well, I don't know it anyway. Yeah, the D's nuts thing was funny. Dude got 3 or 4% before they figured out he wasn't old enough.
That's what stopped it.
That's what stopped it. Was his age. He did not hit the minimum age restriction. For a while, I don't think people knew who it was. But
what we're talking about? Oh, I think the Super Bowl.
Yes, the Super Bowl. But okay, so we went with who we like, but what is our prediction?
Ooh.
So not only who wins, but the final score.
Oof.
So unfortunately, with predictions, I pride myself on picking with my head. So I will have to go with Patriots 27, Eagles 14.
I always get so blinded by my passion, my burning passion of the Patriots.
Your all-out illogical hatred? Is that what you mean?
Correct. Half the time I can't even explain it, but it's there. I mean, more than half of it's the refs. You have to admit they get catered. Get catered.
Okay, but we've had this discussion before.
And
it's not that the Patriots alone have gotten catered or that the league has set the Patriots up to win everything. It's that typically the better teams and the better players get more attention and therefore get more calls going their way. Because a ref, you've got at any given time, you got 3 refs and 22 players. Their eyes aren't everywhere, so they typically will focus on the star players. And so, yes, I'm not going to lie and say that they've never gotten questionable calls going their way. But if you watch objectively and not with a Patriots hater lens, you'll see that sometimes they don't go their way, as well as if you watch other games, other teams and other star players also get the questionable calls going their way. So, yes, they do sometimes get a little extra love, but it's not exclusive to just the Patriots.
Well, I mean, I see what you mean. We have had this conversation before, and you were saying before that it was like the league kind of needs like a bad guy team, and like that made sense to me. Like you always have, they're just like this super villain, and
They
like
are.
and but yeah, so it made sense to me. But I
I'm
still don't like
surprised
them.
that your
No,
tiny
I'm not.
little baby head can wrap around that.
I'm surprised that I can't think of something.
That's okay. You have
You don't-
35 minutes to come up with the comeback.
Okay, we'll get back to that. I'm gonna roast you so good. You're just quit. It's just gonna be me. It's
Okay.
just gonna be the Z show.
The Z show. Formerly the D and Z show. Lasted for half an episode.
Not even. It only took like 2 hours to set this up.
Actually, probably like 3.5.
That's a good story. We could do that.
I can look. Well, that's actually true. See, that's the thing. Like, we have some subjects that we want to go over, but we also like to leave room for stuff just coming up. And one of the things that we probably should talk about is our complete ineptitude.
Wait. Oh man, can you please explain that word to me?
Ineptitude.
And spell it.
Young child. All right, I'll give it a shot. I'm a terrible speller. INEPTIUDE. No, ineptitude.
I can't spell cat.
KAT. Cat.
DOG cat.
No. So ineptitude just means. Do you know what inadequate means?
Yeah.
Yes, it means like we're not up for the task. We're not that bright when it comes to
But we will. We are constantly improving our
growing
skills.
and learning. Yes.
Yes.
Well, in the spirit of complete honesty and full disclosure, he was growing and learning himself. I still know nothing about this.
That is very true.
I actually went and laid on my bed and watched a TV show while he was trying to figure this out.
I
figured I was more help out of the way.
I talked to, her name was Julia from Apple Tech Care.
I can't say she sounded pretty.
She did potential.
But sometimes voices throw you off.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have like a girl that you're like, ooh, that girl is ugly. And I mean, just the voice. And then you see the girl like, oh man, she's drop dead gorgeous. Voice does not match. And sometimes it goes the other way.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Julia's voice matched up with her looks though. Because she works for Apple, so she's probably in California, you know, has a nice tan. Like, runs on the beach a lot, so.
Please, Julia. Please.
If you're hearing this, Julia. No.
So,
Side note, in order to help fix, well, actually, Julia didn't get it all the way done, unfortunately. But she gave it a valiant try. She did. And then she hooked us up with someone who was able. Yes, Chris.
Chris, thank
Kudos
you for
to you,
getting
Chris.
my laptop working.
But what we figured out is we turned this on and we started practicing trying to get the audio right. And we'd been going for a good probably 4 minutes when we realized that Julia was still on our computer.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, they take over the computer, like, so they can be on there at the same time that you are. And since we're using like audio and video software, we're not entirely sure that she didn't hear us.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we were like having that same conversation.
Yeah, so this same conversation probably happened in front of Julia.
Yeah, so that's cool. And
Yeah.
she has like she can hack into my laptop at any point. So say she sees this and she's angry, she can either expose all my stuff or
Hopefully you don't have a lot.
I really don't. She was like, please remove any private pictures or blah 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 from the screen.
Wait, did she really say that? I didn't even. That's funny.
I was like, okay.
That's pretty great, actually.
Let me just hop off the dark web real quick.
Right. So let me cancel that Hitman order. You didn't see that, Julia. But anyway, yeah, it actually. You were right. I kind of did the math on the time. I think it did take about 2 hours. 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes, something along those lines.
Way too long.
Yeah, either way, entirely too long. Which actually prompted a friend of mine because we were supposed to be over at his place like 2 hours ago. So prompted him like 1 hour ago to text me and tell me that I'm a liar. And then I told him it's Eric's fault.
Yeah, it's not Julia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the funny thing about it. He'd been on the phone for, well, first of all, he was on the hold for like 20 minutes before Julie even decided to pick up. And then on the phone for at least 30 minutes before Julia said, "Hey, let me hook you up with the guy that's actually equipped to fix this." Which, like,
I asked her
okay, that's
beforehand.
not quite her words, but that's pretty much the word
I was
she
like,
used.
"Are you able to like help with this?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah,
And
I can try."
I think the word she actually used, a guy that's actually his department. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so if that is the case, why have you been doing this for half an hour?
And by
I
the
give her
time-
kudos for trying, but nothing else.
Yeah, by the time we got the next guy, maybe 5 minutes.
I'd go with 10.
You think?
But that's because you screwed up and had a few things
That's very
done
true.
the way that, I don't completely understand it, but he had some things on his settings that weren't right and were blocking what they were trying to do. So yeah. So anyway,
So Daniel is old,
yeah.
and
we have-
half the time I have to translate what I'm saying. And I'm like,
that's actually true, but mostly because you speak idiot.
I speak my generation.
Yes, the millennial generation that is a giant dark stain on the history of the United States.
Are you considered
And-
millennial?
Yes, I was just about to admit, unfortunately, I have to claim the status. Although the upper half of millennials and the lower half of millennials are far different people, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. Especially if you go a couple years younger than I am,
Yes.
it gets real bad.
I think there should be like millennial and millennial 2.0. Speaking of awesomeness, though, I know we weren't really talking about awesomeness. This right there, that's my dog Riley. She will be making guest appearances, and she's awesome. She's probably the best dog in the world.
She's a cute wolfer.
She is a cute woofer. She would tear up the puppy bowl if they ever let
Oh,
her.
for sure. Like Antonio Brown.
Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, Antonio Brown will not even be in the Super Bowl because the Steelers laid an egg.
Okay. Laid an egg. What does the term laid an egg?
Yeah,
mean?
see, that's the thing. He says, he makes fun of me for not knowing our generation's language, and he has to translate all the stupid slang and crap, but he doesn't understand, the greatest old school slang ever. Laying an egg is like a 0. It means you failed. You didn't do it.
The greatest.
What?
The greatest old school slang
Yes.
is laying an egg.
Well, one of them.
Oh.
There's many. No,
Okay.
laying an egg would not be the greatest, but
Okay, let me think of a
and
word.
it's not even that old school, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Zarek decided that he is going to challenge me to use current slang in a sentence. So that is what I'm about to attempt to do.
We'll start with an easy one.
Okay.
Finesse.
Okay, here's the deal. See, this is what's ridiculous. They're so caught up. These young little whippersnappers are so caught up in their own little world that they don't even realize that finesse is not. It's actually old school. It's been around for a very, very long time.
Just like clout.
and clout. We actually had this conversation the other day. Okay, so if I'm gonna finesse this, or if I'm gonna do this with finesse, it means it means skill and finish. Not, it's not rough. It's smooth, and that, like I said, has been around for a very long time.
Oh.
And clout is, oh man, I want to listen to that guy. He has a lot of clout, and what that means is basically he has a very good reputation in whatever area you're talking about. Also, not a new word.
Bump.
Okay, so the way normal, sane human beings use the word bump is, oh, hey, there's a bump on your skin. You might want to get that checked out. Or potentially, bump into music. Or
That's
that
what I
music
was.
is bumping.
I bumped this.
But is also, sir. See, that's one thing about millennials. They can't even be original. That is like,
no, we recycle.
that's what I was gonna say. That is a recycle of.
Then
I'm pretty
can't-
sure like the 90s or the 80s.
Then I can't think of anything without.
Well, I know you'd say like lit,
Well, everyone knows what lit means.
but see, here's the thing.
Gas.
With all of this,
You got that gas?
with all of the so-called like new millennial slang, I can pretty much use the same sentence every time. Be like, "Oh, that's lit, man." Or,
Yeah, it means basically.
"Oh, that's
everything.
swag, man."
Okay, you.
"Oh, that's gas, man."
No, gas is weed.
Well, if it were sitting there, I'd be like, "Oh, that's gas, man." Or if I smelled it. True story.
Here, let's flip it. You
Yeah.
give me one of your old whippersnapper terms. Wait.
There you go. See, that's the opposite. Whippersnapper is a
Okay.
young little guy.
Okay, this is more interesting because I have no clue what I'm talking about.
That's true. How about we go with tyke?
That sounds inappropriate.
No. No. Tyke.
Like little tyke.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, is that like small? Kid.
A tyke is a little child.
Oh,
That little tyke over there.
okay.
He's
I was
cute.
thinking
He's a
the
cute little
toy.
tyke.
Oh, you wanna run that one back?
Shut up. I can consider a child cute without being like the guy driving the van.
Alec Baldwin.
Exactly. I am not his accomplice, I swear. Okay, wait. So what about the bee's knees?
Oh, for some reason that's like cool. Like that's a bee's knee.
That's the bee's knees, man. There you go. All right, what about peachy?
Yeah, like cheery, happy.
Dude, you're doing pretty good. Wait, let me see.
Because I work with a 64-year-old guy.
It's kind of sad that apparently our language mirrors each other, but okay.
He's a good guy.
I gotta get one. I gotta get one to stump you real quick. No, I think you probably know this. Elbow grease.
We just like scrub that with some elbow grease.
There you go.
I think you know what this is? A bad segment.
Yeah, I think this might have bombed.
Yeah. It went a lot better in our heads.
But the truth of the matter is, in every day, like, we do come across, like, he's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, what does that mean? Because I use older language and he uses younger language. But yeah. So anyway, we both pretty much got the others. I'm still trying to think of one to stump him, but I can't right now, unfortunately. So I failed at that. But anyway, I also would like to give a shout out though to the Ohio State men's basketball team.
Aaron Kraft.
That would be a few years too late.
Swish.
No. Keita Bates Diop would be the star right now.
Yeah, my buddy's in that fraternity actually. Got him.
You're funny. No, Keita Bates Diop is the full name of an awesome stud OSU basketball player.
Stud.
Yes.
He cute?
Use it in a sentence, please. No. So
Zarek is a stud.
yes, a male horse that you use to breed.
I'm fine with that.
So anyway, yeah, so the Ohio State men's basketball team, I have to give a shout out to them because they were like their preseason ranking, they were supposed to finish the Big Ten in 11th, which is basically next to last, because they fired their coach and they hired a new coach like a few months after all the other new coaches got hired and like all the recruits had already gone. They actually didn't even think that he was going to be able to fill a full team, and they couldn't even use all of their scholarships because they didn't have enough people to give them to. So yeah, it was looking not so great. Then in the non-conference play, they were mediocre. They were like pretty good, but somehow they put it together and they went 9-0 in their first 9 games in the Big Ten. They just dropped one, unfortunately, to Penn State.
I did see the ending of that one.
Yeah,
that's pretty insane.
It was an insane ending. Like, it was next to a buzzer beater 3 to tie it up, and then an actual buzzer beater 3 for Penn State to win it, which is crazy, and heartbreaking. But still doesn't take away from what they've been able to do. So shout out to them. That is impressive, I do have to say.
Since we're on this whole basketball thing, the All-Star draft, that happened.
that did happen.
Interesting. New cool way to do it.
It is. And the weirdest thing about it is...
Well, explain what it was.
Okay. So what's happened in the past is they used to just have the East and West, like the Eastern Conference All-Stars and the Western Conference All-Stars. And so whoever got voted a starter and whoever got voted the bench players, like if, when they played on a team in the Eastern Conference, they played for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, and Western Conference, same thing. But then I believe they had a year where they picked like, it was either celebrity or former basketball stars as coaches, and then like those guys got to pick the teams. But this year what they did is they got the top 2 vote getters. So basically the All-Stars with the 2 All-Stars with the most votes got to be the captains of the team, and the All-Star with the most votes, like the number 1, got to pick first, and number 2 pick second. So number 1 was LeBron James. And number 2 was Steph Curry. So they were captains of the opposite teams. And it actually turned out fairly interesting, Zarek, because LeBron and KD teamed up. LeBron picked Kevin Durant, which
did he pick him first?
He's the second best player in the league, so he did. He picked him with his first pick. If he wouldn't have picked him, then Steph Curry definitely would have. Which, as basketball fans know, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant play on the same team in real life. And LeBron faces them like every year in the finals.
Except for this year.
It'll happen.
No, you really think?
Yeah, they actually just beat the Pacers, who actually have a really good record. I think they're about to get it back on track. I'm a huge Cavs fan, so part of that is an emotional, like, hoping statement. But it'll happen. Also, but anyway, so he picked him. But you know what was the truly interesting thing about the player draft?
It wasn't televised.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. 2 interesting things. One is it wasn't televised. Like, this was the first buzz that they've actually had, like, pre-buzz for the All-Star game. And actually, I think it's going to make more buzz for the All-Star game. And they decided not to televise it when they had, like, 1 million requests to televise it. And it's weird. In a day and age where companies and people will do anything for ratings, they actually had, like, ratings gold and just didn't do it. But anyway... No, the interesting thing about the draft itself is who LeBron James picked. It was either with the pick after he took Kevin Durant, or it was maybe one after that. But
Westbrook? No, who's Westbrook with?
He picked, drumroll, Kyrie Irving.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the teammate that demanded a trade mostly because of LeBron James. They were able to bury the hatchet, and he picked him. So that will be interesting to see them out on the court together.
You cannot pick him. Like, dude went to the Celtics, and
dude is lit.
To be honest, breath snapped.
Yeah, see, I don't know. See, you should have come out with that one, because I have no clue.
Breath snapped on the court.
Breath snap. What?
Breath snapped on that court.
Sure.
He went off.
Wait, when? Oh, you mean like in the early part of the season?
Oh yeah, they're doing.
See, snap to me means like you went insane in a bad way, but apparently, see that you should have thrown that out for the thing. I wouldn't have gotten it right. But see, you live and you learn. That's one thing about doing this in a candid manner. But anyway, so yeah, and the other thing, the subject that brings it up is the Cavs are currently in the middle of being a dumpster fire right now, unfortunately. I think they'd lost like 9 of the last 11 or something
like
very
that.
similar to that before they beat the Pacers. So hopefully this is the turnaround, the start of the turnaround.
But it's just one win, so.
But it's a win against a very
team.
solid team that yeah. And I believe it was at the Pacers as well. So
We are Blue Jackets fans.
we are Blue Jackets fans. Both of us has dropped the ball in like the last month. I know they're hovering right around 500, which is unfortunate because I believe they had the talent and even the momentum in the beginning of the year to be well above 500 and one of the better teams, at least in the Eastern Conference.
My goal is to at least to win one playoff series.
That is true. They've been to a couple recently, but
we play the Penguins every single time.
Yeah, I think they've been 3 times in the past, like 5 years or whatever, and I think at least 2 of those times they've played the Penguins, which is unfortunate because the Penguins are a juggernaut. The Penguins are one of those teams that it really doesn't matter what place they finish. Like, they're going to be in the playoffs, and even if they're a high seed or a lower seed, they're always going deep into the playoffs. And so it's just unfortunate to face them in the first round. But we'll keep up the faith. We'll get a win. And I'm also keeping up the faith that they go on a hot streak like they've done before. I think they've done like 13 straight, like 16 straight maybe once, like a couple years ago or something. So I'm hoping they do that again, distance themselves from the 500 so they can get into the playoffs once again and have a shot to win a series. It's actually really sad. I'm a homer on like all my teams. Like, they're all Ohio teams, my favorite teams.
No, I'm not.
And like Bengals, just hope for one playoff win. The
Clippers.
Blue Jackets hope for one playoff win. So the Cavs are the only team, and until recently, that was pretty much it too. But yeah. So that little bit of in the background, that was Riley. She's cute and very vocal. She say I make a lot of different sounds.
She's a woofer.
Come here, woofy. You're a good girl. All right, hold on here. See if she's joining the show. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Look at her, how cute she is.
That was Daniel being really awkward with his dog.
No.
Come back next week for part 2.
Shut up. You know what? It's
no,
okay.
I do love my dog.
Yes.
You're a dog person over cat?
Yeah.
I
you know that.
Well, I mean,
the only cats that are cool are cats that act like dogs.
I hate cats.
True story.
I actually really hate cats.
I don't hate them, but I'm not a big fan, like I said, unless they act like dogs. There are a few. Shout out to the late Boots, who was my favorite
Shout out to
cat
Puss in Boots.
ever. No.
That's a great movie.
His name was just straight Boots. No, I'm guessing Puss in Boots fell somewhere along the lines of Boss Baby. But I have to admit, I've never seen the whole movie.
See, neither have I. They made him his separate movie, but the Shrek movies, not bad.
No, they weren't. But
what's your favorite animated movie?
The first Shrek movie actually came out when I was like 9 years old, I think.
1962.
63.
Sorry, not bad. What's your favorite animated movie?
My favorite animated movie. Okay, there are some great animated movies out there. But probably my favorite of all time would have to be Monsters, Inc.
For real? They're not bad.
Yeah. I'd have to probably, I think I'd have to say Monsters, Inc.
I'm going Hoodwink.
That is fantastic. That would be definitely up there. Also, one that would be up there is Up.
No, not bad.
It was solid. And there's also, there's Finding Nemo. You can't go wrong loving Finding Nemo.
Your dog's licking the table.
Yep, yeah. I think there might have been something on the table. Either that or she just likes wood. So anyway.
Interesting.
Shut up. So yeah, what would be your favorite? You said was
Hoodwink.
Okay.
And then
so favorite movie of all time.
The Shape of Water.
I know. Yeah, The Shape of Water. No, actually, his favorite movie of all time, also a stinker.
Oh, come on, no.
Interstellar.
I'll put on those gloves back there and sock you cold.
Yeah,
I'll sock you out your socks.
He's very passionate about Interstellar and about his love for Interstellar. And I don't understand it because I got to be completely honest with you. I couldn't even make it through the whole thing. Like, I started the first time, and I made it 45 minutes through, and I took such flack from him and the one other person in the world that thinks it's the best movie, his mother. And so I sat down, and I'm like, you know what? I am going to watch this. And the next time I got an hour and a half through, kudos to me, and still couldn't finish it because it's 14 freaking hours long.
13 hours.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
by the way, that's
3.
a pretty decent movie, 13 hours.
What's that? The Benghazi thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But...
Okay, wait. It's 3 hours. And the 1.5 hours he was watching, he was basically on his phone playing his online poker with Bob and whoever.
First of all, it's online hearts. I don't play poker. I suck at poker. And second of all, back when I watched it, I was not doing online hearts.
I was on Clash of Clans.
No, I don't play Clash of Clans.
I used to.
You're failing left and right. So anyway, on to a movie that actually does deserve being somebody's favorite movie of all time. And in fact, is a lot of people's favorite movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time is what, Zarek? Since I said yours.
Brother Bear.
Okay. Seriously?
It's The Patriot.
Fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. I think the best scene is when the guy is holding the pistol to his son's head and he just hauls off and throws a tomahawk right in the middle of his forehead.
That's really... you can't... dude, it's really not that good of a movie. You know what was
Have
good
you
about...
seen the whole thing?
Yes, I've seen it multiple times. You know what was good about that movie?
Wait. Already a step up from Interstellar. The critics can get through it a couple times. The critics of Interstellar can't get all the way through. My case rests, Your Honor.
No. This is how I could watch that movie. Back in like freshman year, when we're all bored out of our minds, and the teacher's like, "Oh, I don't feel like teaching today. I'm just gonna throw on some Patriot."
So in freshman year, your teacher decides appropriate school material is a rated R movie.
Oh yeah, well you gotta get your parents to sign the little paper.
Okay.
But that's the only way I could get through that movie. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's fantastic.
It's a good
great
movie.
acting, great action scenes, great writing. Everything about that movie.
Great writing.
Is fantastic.
Interstellar. You have to watch the movie.
I did. I
No,
tried.
You did not.
It was painful.
It is so good.
I probably
It's
would
long.
rather go to the doctor and have my ingrown toenails cut out. Fun fact. I've had that happen.
Let's not talk about your encroachment.
It was more pleasant than trying to get through Interstellar. Oh, if you were having trouble sleeping, though, please turn on Interstellar.
Oh, got him. Okay, no, you don't appreciate the arts.
I do. You know what? I really can appreciate I mean, I make fun of the arts, yes, but I can appreciate them too. But there was just something about that movie. But here, right now, in front of the one witness that'll probably ever watch this, I will try one more time to get through Interstellar.
We can podcast it.
We will.
I had 3
That's
hours.
a 3 hour. Yeah, we'll podcast the highlights. How about that? We'll record it and podcast the highlights. Like if I start nodding off or something.
That's a woofer.
That is the woofer. She's like, you know what? Please include me. Riley, come over here. Come here, Woomy. Hey, Woomy.
What's your favorite movie, Riley?
Woomy, come on.
Probably Air Bud.
Good girl. Up. Come on.
She probably likes Air Bud. She like the Air Bud movies?
Oh my
goodness.
She's all the way up. All right. So here we go. I actually didn't mean for her to come all the way up, but you know what? She's so cute. We'll forgive her. Here, over there, Riley. Anyway, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Her favorite movies are the Air Bud movies.
Yes, probably. But they were actually good. Well, the first one was good. The second one was pretty good. And by the time they came out with the 37th, I wasn't paying attention anymore. I will be right back.
Where you going?
I gotta let her go drink.
I have to run this podcast by myself? Oh, I thought you'd go nowhere.
For 2 seconds.
Okay. 1, 2.
I'm already back.
Oh.
Uh,
Speedy demon.
Where did my... Oh, My phone fell.
What did you accomplish by leaving 50 seconds?
I opened the door so that she can have access to go downstairs and drink water, which she will do.
So,
Go on me. Okay, so yeah, fun fact. Like, okay, so her name is Riley, but when you hear me say Wummy, I'm also referring to her. I had a friend who, when I first got her, just kept calling her Woman over and over again, and that stuck in my head. But I had to shorten it to Wummy because when I like stuck my head outside the back door and said, "Wummy, get in the house," or "Woman, get in the house," or "Woman, get in your cage," like it just didn't sound right. So that's why I went to Wummy.
You think so? Sounds normal to me.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, with the family he grew up in. No, just kidding about that there. But anyway, a quick thing though. Like every once in a while, we will get serious. So I did want to bring up DACA, very quickly.
Great movie.
Yes, fantastic. Should have won an Oscar that year. No. So DACA it's the deferred action, whatever. I can't remember 100% like what each letter stands for, but it's basically about the Dreamers, which is the illegal immigrant children that Obama let come into the country during his presidency. So the big question is basically what to do with them. And there was a big showdown between the Democrats and the Republicans, and the Democrats and the president. And they actually shut down the government, the non-essential parts of the government for just a little bit, because they said in the new budget that we needed to put in allowances for the so-called Dreamers to stay in this country. But they ended up backing off of that, so we passed a budget, at least a temporary budget, that'll give us a few more weeks to figure it out. And with a promise that they would revisit the whole DACA thing. And the president said that he will actually make a pathway to citizenship for them. But with that, first of all, it's like a 10 to 12 year pathway to citizenship. And I'm sure it's heavy with incentives, like they have to, or stipulations where they have to, hold a job, be a profitable member of society, not get arrested, things like that.
Yeah,
so yeah, that, and in it with that, they're gonna the Democrats are gonna have to be okay with funding the border wall. So as much as like there are a little bit of problems here and there, I guess, and maybe it's not completely ideal, I'm okay with it. Like I think if they are profitable members and they're already here, and as long as the ones are weeded out that aren't, if we get the border wall funded because of that, I think
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay,
because I don't think it's like their whole lives have been spent here. So like I'm fine with,
for the most part. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm fine with like this batch. And
right, but it can't keep happening.
It can't keep happening.
And so that's why
I can agree with that.
I like and it's not just the border wall, but also funding for like border patrol and investigation, people and stuff like that. As well as, like I said, it's a 10 to 12 year path, and while we don't yet know what the specifics are, because I don't even think the president and the people that help him have completely written all the specifics, I am sure, like I said, it's going to be heavy with stipulations of they have to be like law-abiding, profitable citizens. So the ones that are criminals and beyond being here illegally are will probably be deported. So that'll be good. But yeah. So that's in case you can't tell, we definitely lean conservative on this show. But we also like to pride ourselves on being reasonable as well.
Yeah, I would like to justify how the other side looks at things. Like, why do they think that way?
Yeah, I don't mind looking at why. But a lot of times why they look at it is, or why they look at things the way they look at things, is they're thinking with their emotions and not necessarily with logic.
Right.
And I'm okay with an emotional story. I'm okay with like, hey, this kid, I think there's like some podcasts, or not podcasts, or like YouTuber or something, like he didn't even know that he was illegal.
Yeah.
And you do feel bad for those guys, but like I said, there's also emotional stories on the other side too, like people whose relatives have been killed by illegal immigrants, or the drugs pouring across the border have wrecked families and whatnot.
I mean, when it all boils down to it, I think that this should be the last batch, and as long as they follow our rules and they want to become a citizen, then I'm all for it. But
yeah, I mean, I'm all right with it. I'll concede it because
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Me, in my position of power,
Exactly.
I'll let Trump do his thing.
I mean, he called me up the other day, and I was like, yeah, okay, I guess it's all right.
Yeah, it's kind of up to you, but
yeah, he actually prefers I call him Donnie. Yeah, we're on a first name basis like that. It's Donnie and Danny. Yeah, we were briefly thinking about taking our act on the road, but then the whole presidency thing
kind of gotten away.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a bit of a falling out on the D&D show. So
Yeah,
that's why I got put into this, the D&Z show.
That's why.
Imagine that.
That's actually why he won't be tuning in. He's a little pissed that that I didn't bring him into it. But I had to.
Wait, well. If Donald Trump, if you are listening to this, if you want to do a podcast,
if you'd ever like to, I mean, here's the deal. It's completely up to you. You can guest star in an episode or be in every single episode from here on out. I'm okay with
the amount of clout that we would get.
Boom, there you go.
Dummy clout.
Probably not a lot of finesse, but clout nonetheless.
I mean,
he's
honestly,
he's more of the bull in the china shop, but you know what? He gets it done, so I'm all right.
If you're trying to fund this podcast, that'd be great too.
Well, heck, the publicity he brings will fund this.
I mean, it's not that.
He will bring us a butt.
No, he would.
Yeah,
but negative.
It doesn't matter.
We're getting bad
views.
PR is good PR.
We're getting views. Yeah. No publicity is bad publicity, baby. I mean, that's pretty much his presidential campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked.
I don't know how.
Mostly because the other side was viciously scary.
Yeah. You see what she said yesterday about the Women's March?
No, I did not see that.
She had this, I'll say it, it was stupid. It was a stupid video. And at the end, she was like, this is for bad bitches supporting bad bitches.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And I'm like, okay, we're gonna go off on Trump for saying shithole countries. That's a quote. Mom, you can't get mad. But we're gonna go off on him. But I mean, what she said isn't terrible, but it's just come on, that's stupid.
Well, there's definitely a double standard.
Oh, for sure.
And the truth is, there's also the craziness of it's not been verified. There has been, and I understand there's reasons why people don't necessarily want to put their names to it, but it was one of these unverified, or not unverified, but one of these nameless sources. And of all of the people that they have asked that they knew were there, they've had several come out and say that was never said, and then others that won't confirm it.
It doesn't matter, though.
Nobody really knows. And the thing is, he said, yeah, I used strong language. But the thing is, when you have a country that, steeped in communism, a country that's only ever sucked resources from other countries and all that, and there's some great people in Haiti, don't get me wrong. Or no, the whole communism thing, that was my fault. I was thinking of Cuba for a second. But
I think we're cool with Cuba right now.
Well, yeah, that's for a later episode. But But the thing is, they're a very poor and even corrupt country, with their leadership, and I know that's not necessarily the fault of the people, and I'm sure there's some great resilient people in Haiti, but when you're talking about funding and stuff like that, being tough and saying, hey, this country is in a bad position, this country we've seen no return on our money, and we want to try to see a little bit of tough love and a little bit of, hey, I'm going to help you out, but I need to see results. I don't know. I think we've gotten such thin skin to where it's you can't tell the truth about stuff anymore. And if you can't tell, if you are no longer able to tell the truth and you are no longer able to hold people accountable, society will literally crumble around you. And I think in a lot of ways we're seeing that. Because, the first step to fixing a problem is admitting there is one. And if nobody ever can admit that there is a problem because it's just too mean to say, then we're screwed.
I agree.
Well, thank you. That was my tangent.
And that's honestly why we have Trump in office. Is because we needed someone that would draw a line in the sand and actually enforce it.
Yeah, we'd had spineless people or people that were in it for their own power and stuff that just kept caving to the other side. And the thing is, I think we wanted somebody to tell it like it is. And yes, with that, we got a guy that flies off the cuff.
Oh,
and
very
sometimes
much.
overstates things, and every once in a while talks before he's done his research. But his willingness to just jump out there and say something and to be brutally honest, probably even more so than necessary sometimes. Yes, it goes too far on the other side sometimes, but we needed a voice to do that, and I think Zarek's right. I think that's why he won.
Well, the other reason why I think he won is because I think Russia was behind the whole thing.
Yes. Although all the evidence we have shows that, Russia colluded with the liberals and the Democrats, but nonetheless, it must have happened.
They said it was there, so it has to be there.
Exactly. I mean, come on. When has the media ever lied to us?
Did you know that Donald Trump drinks 12 Diet Cokes a day?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
The important and breaking news, such as the president's diet. Anyway, so one more thing that...
Two more things. I got something after this.
Oh, my bad. One thing that I wanted to bring up is something that for quite some time now I have longed to do, is to call myself intelligent. No,
that will never happen.
No, I'm really not. I'm like probably average intelligence, maybe slightly above. But the thing is, I wanted to do something smart people do, and that is to solve a Rubik's Cube.
I've never inquired to do that once in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
peel the stickers off.
Recently, I started doing research, and I got the very beginning. Like, you can't just, memorize turns, because there's literally, a couple hundred turns to solve a Rubik's Cube. I mean, at least that many, I'm thinking. I don't know exactly, but it's a lot. So you can't just straight out memorize them. What you do is you learn different kinds of formulas and different, you figure out, hey, the corner ones do this, and so on and so forth. So I did a tiny bit of research, and I just started down that road. And so for future segments... I will talk more about it, and I'll probably even bring a Rubik's Cube out and be practicing during.
Whenever I'm talking about stuff I'm really passionate about, or just be like,
I will be focused on what I'm passionate about, aka the Rubik's Cube.
Which I think we should have let it die in the 80s. I think we should have advanced our technology to come up with a more fun puzzle.
No.
Yes.
I think it's just too hard for you to ever do, and that's why you're saying this.
Well, that, and and I knew a kid in high school who, I'm saying that like it was more than a year ago.
Okay.
He would bring it to these school events, and there was a kid from another school on his Rubik's Cube, and this kid comes up to him and he's like, let me impress you with my slow solves. And he would go to Rubik's Cube competitions.
Dang.
One day we're gonna get you to a Rubik's Cube competition.
Oh, I'm gonna do this.
I'm down.
It'll probably take me 6 months to solve it the first time, but then I'll get faster
He could do it with his eyes closed. He could do it like slowly. He called it slow solves when he really wasn't thinking about it.
Okay.
He's a weird kid. He was a really weird kid.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if I'm intelligent enough to ever be good at a competition, but I think it would be fun to be able to solve it and then get my butt handed to me in a competition.
Just get slaughtered by some 7th grader.
Pretty much, but who could say that they did that, right? I mean, that'll be a story I can tell my grandkids. Hey, guess what I failed at? Beating a 7th grader in a Rubik's Cube competition.
Your grandpa amounted to nothing his whole life. So
here's a list of my failures.
I tried to start a podcast once. I didn't go anywhere.
We got 13 total views over the course of 6 months.
And then put even the,
Or listens. Well, whichever.
I mean, it's gonna be both.
Yeah, exactly.
Check us out on iTunes, Google Play,
If you cannot tell,
Spotify,
the sun is starting to go down. We've been using natural light.
and YouTube.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just interrupted that whole thing. Spotify, YouTube,
Google Play,
Google Play, and SoundCloud.
iTunes, and SoundCloud.
And iTunes. We're going to be all over the place, ladies and gentlemen.
And we actually, during this podcast, I hooked us up with a radio spot.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? I didn't even know. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So we got ourselves a radio spot. I did some emailing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Daniel's believing this.
Is this this has got to be an elaborate joke. Well, actually not very elaborate.
No, yeah, it was totally a joke.
Okay, but the little part of me that hopes for something like this
maybe one
allowed
time.
myself to be slightly gullible. So, I apologize.
Gullible. This brings us to our first ad. Threat Level Midnight.
Yes.
Their new EP came out. It's a band.
They're pretty great. You know, they're just starting out. But they've actually headlined a few local shows. And what is the big news for Threat Level Midnight?
They made it to the final competition in the Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So catch them February 17th at the Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they will play their hearts out.
They are local from Columbus, Ohio. They're pretty great. They're young.
They're a high school band, but they don't sound like they're a high school band.
And they're not completely high school anymore.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, anyway, Brian Ream, that's the guitar player, you owe us $50.
Yes, we read the ad, the invisible ad off of our...
Okay, one last thing before we head out. I got some jokes.
All right.
Everyone likes some jokes. I don't think I told you these.
I don't know. We'll find out.
And here.
We'll see if I can figure out the answers.
Okay. What do you call two birds that are stuck together?
Lovebirds?
That's a good guess. It's actually Velcro.
Ah! But wouldn't it be Velcros?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Yeah, see, fail. All right, go ahead.
What's the difference? Or what does
Hold on. Let me.
Oh, crap. Homie's got like 6 lamps in here.
Shed a little light on the subject. Oh.
Okay.
So joke number 2.
Yeah. What does a hurricane and a redneck divorce have in common?
They both tear up the trailer.
Someone will lose a trailer.
Oh yeah,
got him.
That was just me figuring it out too. I promise. Never heard it before in my life. All right, do we got another one?
Oof.
Number 3.
Maybe. Hold on. Let me dig in the think tank here.
I got one.
Okay, hit me.
Why are cemeteries such popular places?
People are dying to get in there.
Ah, yes, sir.
Your dad told me that one.
I know.
We were passing.
That was like my dad's favorite joke. Every time
My dad didn't tell me jokes.
That's sad. My dad was like the corniest person.
Oh yeah. My dad just like, hey, go clean that up.
What? Oh yeah, go clean that. Okay, I got it.
Got it. Love you, Dad.
Yeah.
I doubt her make it to the end of this.
Papa D is a pretty great guy.
No way her make it an hour and 15 seconds into this. Or minutes, actually.
Minutes, yes.
Oof.
All right, so one more joke.
Keep going though?
Yes.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
No, I meant
to get to the other side.
That's ridiculously stupid. No, so what do you say to the one-legged hitchhiker?
You want to hop in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually made that one up, by the way.
Oh. I don't know if you should take credit for that.
Probably not. But yes, we're coming up against it right now.
Well, I have a little story to share.
Okay. We will close with this riveting story from Zarek.
This is how I get all my jokes. So I work in a mailroom, and every Thursday this guy comes in.
Fun fact: he opens people's mails to find jokes.
Yeah, I wish. That'd be awesome, but no, it's
also a federal crime.
No, I mean we open the mail if it's unaddressed.
Don't admit that on air, please.
We open mail. Please arrest me.
Okay, so this
every
guy comes
Thursday,
in. Yes.
this guy. Oh, I don't know if I should say this because I still.
You're the one that start. I have no clue.
I mean, I doubt her.
We'll never be popular enough for him to hear us.
Hopefully not. I really hope not. Anyway, he's kind of strange. And so her walk in, and he kind of got this lazy eye thing going, and so like he came up to me and he's like, my doctor says I have an addiction, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he was like, yeah, he thinks I'm addicted to brake fluid, and I'm like, oh. He's like,
I just can't stop.
Yeah, he's like, I told him I could stop at any time. I'm like, dude, who are you? Get out of here. And then,
so he randomly comes in and tells you jokes.
Yeah, I mean, I think he
Nice.
does stuff, but he just like walks around.
I think that might have to be an ongoing segment.
I mean,
What's his name?
I don't know.
We're gonna name him Tom.
Tom.
It's the Tom joke segment.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to remember these.
No, I have a couple.
Okay. Well, we'll save them for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching.
Oh yeah, okay.
Again,
So,
I'm Dan.
I am Zarek. This is our first episode. High five for that.
Boom.
We did it.
Of the D&Z show.
Yeah. So again, check us out on Google, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and whatnot.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, and we'll hit you on Tuesdays
and Sundays.
and Sundays. So bless up and
Have a great night.